Hello, and welcome to my very first Motivational Monday. Today, we are going to be talking about seasonal sadness. Now, I'm not talking about like winter depression, but just those moments where you feel sad for no reason. I'm going to go over 5 points that I think can help cope with it, if not solve it completely. There are lots of different reasons that we could feel sadness out of thin air, such as things as hormonal changes, past trauma, depression, or even stress. If this is something that stems from depression, I am not a professional. I can't say that these will actually work for you, but I'll try my best. The first thing that I think is important is noticing when these things tend to happen. Is it a periodical amount of time between the depression, or is it sporadic and it just happens when it happens? Make sure you pay attention to that because it might be a key factor in figuring out what's actually wrong. Now, if you just happen to be a gentle soul, a sensitive person, then you may notice that you have these feelings a bit more strong and a bit more often than other people, which is okay. It's okay to feel. I personally notice that my mood tends to go down a lot more when it's rainy outside. Occasional rainy days are nice, but I do usually notice my mood is a lot lower then. So if that's when you notice it happening, you'll be okay. When the sun comes back out, you'll be good. The first thing that you can do to help cope with seasonal sadness is talking to people that you love. If you don't have those people, is talk to friends and family. I'm hoping that whoever is watching this, that you have a friend that you can reach out to or a family member. I know not everyone has that, but if you are not able to talk to a loved one, we'll get on to the second point in just a second. Talking to friends and family is really important in boosting your mood, because I think when we feel extreme sadness or anger, we tend to isolate ourselves. That's not good to do. Isolating yourself tends to worsen the sadness. Being able to share your thoughts and your feelings with someone that genuinely cares for your well-being, I think, helps lift the weight off your shoulders. The next thing you can do is add a little bit of humor. I mean, technically it would be a coping mechanism, but not in the same way that we usually see it nowadays, where it's masking the pain. Even if you may not feel like laughing or having a good time at the moment, you can try watching a comedy movie, reading some kind of book that you enjoy, or watching a fun YouTuber. Like watching lighthearted and positive movies or intaking that media is good for your insides. Which brings me to my next point, which is listening to music. I never understand why people listen to sad music when they're already sad. That's not going to help you. Do not do that. It's just going to worsen everything. Listen to things that have a positive message that uplift your mood. If you're listening to things always talking about how we never find love in this day and age, my ex just broke up with me, he cheated on me, life isn't going anywhere, how do you think you're going to feel? But what you intake has to come out. You know, my next point is doing something that you enjoy. If there's something that you can't think of that you genuinely enjoy, this is a great time to figure it out. Try a new hobby, go out to a new restaurant or cafe, go for a walk, try the park. There's so many different things that you can do and discover that you enjoy. If you don't already have a pet, you could try and adopt one. I think they're very great companions, especially for your emotional well-being. In times where I'm really struggling emotionally, she's able to sense that, and she comes over and tries to cuddle, and she comforts me in her own way, and it really just it helps. Another thing is, if you've been inside for an extended period of time, try going outside in the sun for once. Even if you don't want to go outside, at least open the blinds, get some sunlight in, vitamin D. I'm not saying that these things will cure your mood overnight, but I do think over time it helps make things more manageable. However, if you do feel a sense of emptiness and you believe you are depressed, if you are able to, I believe therapy is something that you should look into. There's no shame in going to therapy if you have the option. I know not everyone can afford it, but even in cases where you either don't want to go to therapy or you can't go to therapy, I think journaling is a great thing to do. Anything that comes to mind, let it out. No matter how silly you think it is, don't be worried about who could read it. You'll worry about that later. Dump all your feelings out onto that page. And in cases where you don't have someone to physically talk to, I think that this is a great alternative for a time. Because when you journal and you let your emotions out through writing, physical writing, I don't know why it's better. It's just, but it literally takes it out of your mind onto the paper, so you have less things to worry about. You feel lighter afterwards.